hurricanes hit, if you notice, Doppel's talking Generac and Home Depot. It's that time of year again. And I wanted to share something with you guys because if you don't know, Texas got hit pretty hard and there's millions of people without power and they are struggling. And some of the stuff, the life lessons I've learned coming through the years of living out in the middle of nowhere, growing up, living on a beach for weeks, for days, multiple days at a time, and liking to have air conditioning when I'm on the beach. Once you get it, you never want to give it up. And the feasibility of like what generators are, what they can do. And frankly, my family got caught in a hurricane where we didn't have power for over 2 weeks. And after about 4 or 5 days, we were the last family standing that still had any type of power. And we had like all our neighbors like laying in sleeping bags in one of our larger bedrooms that had an air conditioner running. So I wanted to kind of run this through some of the stuff because this is a life lesson alpha and it's timely. And I don't know when I could ever sneak generators back into a chat. So I'm going to run through this. So people look at the generators and they want to go for the biggest and baddest ones there are, which is fine. If you need it, it's awesome. But the thing you've got to realize, these big like 12,000 watt generators, as awesome as and as badass as they are, they can drink like 7 gallons of gasoline in a day, probably more. And knowing what you know, let me see. Let's look at this one. This is 12,000. This is a 12,000 watt. I'm gonna put a calculator on the side. We're gonna go to specs, and it'll tell you here. You can look at this. This thing holds 11 gallons. This thing is a monster. You could probably power a small house, like with air conditioners on, everything. Let me run through this real quick. It's a V-twin. They normally tell you the runtime. Where is it? They don't have it on this one. Go back to another one. Regardless, you get the point. It's not going to run 24 hours on 7 gallons. It's probably going to need to be filled up once a day. So that's 14 gallons per day, give or take. We'll just call it 10, right? So, wait, was it? Anyway, we'll just call it 10 gallons a day. To go an entire week, you're going to need 70 gallons of gasoline. That's 14 5-gallon jugs of gas in your garage that you're not going to have. I think I currently have like 8 that I keep around. So I can keep up to 40 gallons. There's no way you can feed these things. So what you need to figure out, you're not going to turn on your big air conditioner. You're not. That's not a thing. What you need to figure out is what's the smallest air conditioner you can run and keep one room of your house cold, and what's the smallest generator that it can run to power that air conditioner. So when you start looking at small air conditioners, like a 6,000 BTU, this pulls about 600 watts to run it once it's running. To start it is another thing. To actually turn this air conditioner on, you're probably going to hit 1,500 plus watts, and it's going to shock load your generator, and you may or may not be able to start it. So if you can't start it, you're kind of in trouble. But if you get a 6,000 BTU, 6 to 7 or so, it'll freeze out a master bedroom in like 100-degree weather, depending on the size of your bedroom, right? And you can run this on like a 2,000 watt generator. And this thing's going to burn like 3 gallons of gas per 24 hours. And this thing's strong enough to at least run one of your refrigerators. So what you can do, get a little tiny generator, run your refrigerators a few hours a day, your deep freezers, etc., and then you can keep the air conditioner going in one room for a long time and do it cheap. These are like $500-600. Sometimes they go on sale for like $400. This is like a $200 air conditioner you can shove in your garage, and your family will be nice and calm and quiet and comfortable, and your stuff won't fall out. And realistically, 3 gallons a day, you can get 40 or 50 gallons in your house. You're good to go. The other thing you guys can do is you can buy a hard start capacitor. These are like $20, and this will allow you to run an even smaller generator. So you could actually get like a 1,200 watt generator here, get a hard start capacitor, install it. It's super easy into your air conditioner, and you can run it. I've seen some guys run 1,000 watt Hondas that burn about 1.5 gallons in 24 hours and run a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. and they were able to do it with a hard start capacitor. So definitely check these out. Supco makes them. They're like $20 on Amazon. And essentially what it does is instead of that 1500 watt load hitting your generator, it'll be like 1000 watts. It'll take some of the load out, so the capacitor will take the shock. If you're like, hey runner, I don't want to store gasoline at all, there's another thing you can do. You can buy a tri-fuel generator or a dual fuel. The dual fuel will run on gasoline or propane, or the tri-fuel will run on gasoline, natural gas, or gasoline. The tri-fuels are kind of expensive though. If you already have a generator, I wanted to bring this up, you can buy conversion kits. So for like $150, $200, you can get a regulator and a modification and make your generator run on natural gas. And if you have natural gas and like a natural gas line in your house, assuming you're not in a crazy freeze where the natural gas lines like freeze or some catastrophic thing, you're always going to have natural gas at your house, and you can run these things for a month at a time, no problem. This one here is a tri-fuel. You don't have to convert it. And note, the dual fuel ones will not run natural gas. The regulator has to be way oversized to run natural gas. I personally don't have propane. I've got natural gas. And even if you have, like, if you're thinking like, oh, I've got a barbecue tank, that's only going to run like a day or two. So you need like a dedicated, like gigantic propane tank at your house or like a natural gas line. But you can hook these up. And a slight thing to notice, you're running this thing on propane or natural gas, it's a little weaker than running it on gasoline. So you lose like 10% of your power. Minor thing to note, just keep that in mind. But you can run them forever. So I'm trying to convert my house, or trying to get my generator converted. I'm thinking about doing this, even though I run a small generator than a big generator just to run the refrigerators all at once. But anyway, something to keep note of. You can always convert these things. This is the regulator, and it can basically shoves natural gas down the throat of the generator. So I'm sorry, Doppel, your Generac's not going to break out, even though we've got the squiggly line saying it's up, up, up. I put everybody on the champion generators game. If you guys don't know, if you're not going to buy a Honda, definitely go check out like Champion. These are the best ones I've ever found the research for that are cheap, like the budget and friendly line. They're really, really well built. Not sponsored or anything like that, even though that'd be a really weird sponsor. But I've had really, really good luck with these, and a lot of people, commercial guys, run these and have a really, really great look. And frankly, I just saw that these came out. Somehow they made a tiny little 50-pound one that's a 4,000 watt, which is just insane. And it's dual fuel, so it'll run on propane. Like, I've got a 100-pound one on wheels that's like 4,500 watts. This thing is like the size of a boombox, and it can do 4,000. These didn't exist a year or two ago, so I'm actually shocked. I saw one at Bass Pro Shop the other day, and I was like, holy cow, that can't be right. And sure enough, it is. Somehow they shoved a 150cc engine in there and got it to work.